Hey everybody, it's Gomedex, and welcome back to another run of the Edge of Eternities Sealed Arena Direct. It's going to be best of one sealed of Edge of Eternities. Very self-explanatory. We got to get 6 wins before 2 losses to get at least 1 physical box of magic cards mailed directly to us. Cool event, but we do have to play best of one sealed for it, which is not the greatest. Anyways, let's just get back into it. Double anti-causal vestige we can play in any deck. The vestiges kind of draw cards and potentially put lands out of our hand onto the battlefield, as well as any other permanent, which can help ramp into the battleship. So we have 3 colorless cards that all kind of synergize together. The vestiges getting towards that battleship is pretty sick. I like the idea of maybe a green deck here when we have the siege ship as well to potentially play the vestiges for free, which is awesome. The siege ship is better than most of these randomly like dump an extra creature from your hand onto the battlefield cards, because they tend to be like 4 mana 1/1s that like tap and put a creature out, or like a 4 mana 4/3 on the ground. This being an evasive threat, a potential 3 mana 4/5 flyer, means it has a very decent body along with that effect. So the siege ship plays better than most of the cards that dump stuff out. We I don't think I should play Eldrazi Temple, but we could if I want to be spicy, because I have double anti-causal vestige, so this could help us cast those early, which is really funny. But we'd have to have a very consistent mana base to justify it, because I think it would be more often that we get hosed for not having our right colors of mana, having a colorless source instead of a green or a red or whatever, than that we get benefited by playing vestiges a little bit earlier. They're already plenty efficient. That's a 6 mana 7/5, and so on. We got a Stomping Ground if we want to go green-red, and of course a great red removal spell if we go in that direction. Really big fan of the sealed pool. I mean, Eldrazi Temple, Mystifying Maze probably don't get played no matter what, but a couple decent pieces of fixing, some great rares and everything, and one completely blank piece of cardboard. Let's take a look at our colorless and multicolored here. Got a Pinnacle kill ship as well, which again, the double vestige ramp towards, so that's pretty cool. Not a ton of colorless though, that's the only card we haven't seen already, the only non-rare. We got the green-white uncommon, the green-red, white-black, blue-red. Lots of different uncommons to go for. The green-white, black-white are my favorites, but red-green's the most likely for us to run here, because I think a green deck to ramp into these vestiges could be pretty good. And we got multiple green rares, so we'll keep Chinook in mind, especially with the Stomping Ground as well, fixing in that direction. And let's check out all our colors individually, see what looks the best. These creatures are relatively filler, and there's not a ton of them. A couple great ones like Captain and Adept, but not a high quantity. 1 Radiant Strike for removal. Yeah, white is very mid. Blue, Psionicist is great cost reduction. The Titans are really cheap little aggro threats. I mean, I guess not aggro, because you're probably not playing them until turn 4, but turn 4 you play a 2 mana 2/2 and a 2 mana 4/4, because Kicking Storm Titan is gnarly. Double Cryogen Relic's really nice. I do enjoy the Cryo Shatter as well. Really don't like the Cloud Sculpt Technician, but Psionicist is great. Double Titan's pretty sick. Gale Blade's fine. Blue looks real reasonable. It's definitely better than the white. Black, very little creatures, very few creatures, but great removal. Double Vote Out, double Grav Kill, Dubious Delicacy, a solid support color for anything that just needs a bunch of removal. Red, double Cut Propulsion, Bombard. It's got a little bit of reasonable removal in there. It's got some ramp with double Zookeeper Mechan that helps hit those 6-drop and 8-drop rares that we'd be running out of our colorless spells. We've also got a Land Seeker for a little bit of ramp. The Gunship has a couple artifacts to help it actually deal a little bit of damage. We've got the Mechans, we've got the Turbo Drone, we've got Lander tokens here or there, potentially with Land Seeker, Litho Breaking. Yeah, I do enjoy the red quite a bit. Hopefully I enjoy the green as well, and we get to just go green-red Stomping Ground, have a great time, and it looks like we do. There's a high quantity of green spells here. 2 Sammy's Curiosities to ramp into the 8 mana finisher, the 6 mana Eldrazi and everything. So it's like a great color, again, to work with our colorless rares in this sealed pool. It's a little bit low on interaction, but red helps it out a bit with those burn spells, that Litho Breaking as well, to blow up the all the creatures from a more aggressive board state. It's possible with enough Fixing, we also splash towards black and just run all those removal spells. Dubious Delicacy, double grab kill, double vote out. Play those all off the splash. We don't have dual lands fixing towards that, but if we run both the Sammy's Curiosities, we have 2 Sammy's Curiosities and a Cove Land Seeker. So that's 3 lander tokens total, 3 ways to try to tutor out one of our swamps. Still a little bit difficult, maybe a little bit of a hard sell. We still have some removal in just pure green-red. And obviously we could make the mana base more consistent. When you consider the high mana value Spacecraft and creatures that can blow things up as well, we have Nebula Dragon, Killship, and Battleship too. And again, only 3 lander tokens in the whole deck. Not the most consistent fixing for the splash. And I have to cut 13 cards here. Especially if we splash black. I think the double green on Bailoff makes it hard enough to cast to just not really be worth it. I mean, all of the bonus text on this does basically nothing. It's just the 3-2 trample haste. I don't really think that's what our deck is doing here. I think we're winning mainly off of these just great top end spells. I mean, we can do some curving out, but don't think we get so much of a benefit from like hasting out that little guy to make it worth the times that we're not casting him on curve or stuck off the mana. Again, especially if we splash. Especially if we splash, I don't think Bailoff is good here. I do think the Turbo Drones are worse 3-drop. The only thing I don't like about cutting it is that we're getting pretty low on artifacts for the gunship. And this always does at least 1 damage. If this just kills a 1-1, it's probably already fine. If we're lucky and we have a Mechan or a Lander token out, even at 2 damage, it's going to be great already. Fate Maker's super slow. Predators are pretty filler. Worm's pretty filler. Works well with our Spacecraft. We have a couple cheap Spacecraft here, though. I think I definitely like the Worm better than the Predators in this. The Vestiges are going to be wild. Wow, are they good here. Can you imagine? So turn 3, we play either of our rare Spacecraft, and then turn 4, they're just stationed off of the Anti-Causal Vestige, and we have 2 copies of it. Whew. All right, that's going to be pretty sick. Even the kill ship gets stationed in 1 swing off the Vestige. Wow. All right, yeah, I do quite like that. Let's cut all these creatures for sure. Predators, maybe. I mean, I still have to cut 8 more cards, so I guess they might be. Sorry, I'm getting my Spacecraft out of the creature curve there. I think I'm not going to do the Black Splash here. We'll make that more consistent mana. 1 more cut. The Lithobreaking or the Bombard or the Burst, probably. One of the more filler non-creatures. And if I cut multiple of these, then I get to keep a Predator or 2 in here. I think Lithobreaking is definitely worse than Sealed than Draft. Because you end up against the spread the board white decks a lot less often. It still does look okay in this deck. We have a couple cards that are good synergy with it. You know, the 1-3 and the 2-3s. But then we also have like a little bit of nombos, like the, I guess, 1 single nombo, the 4-2 for 3 is not great with Lithobreaking. I feel like our stuff's explosive enough to not need Burst alongside it. Yeah, there's reasonable reasons to cut any of these 3 cards. Bombard just the worst of the removal for killing the smallest stuff. I'm going to drop the Lithobreaking and the Predators. I think just raw stat cards like the Predators have not been the best for me. Got a good chunk of cheap cards if we do end up against one of those more aggressive decks where Lithobreaking would be good, so that we probably can be like decent at stabilizing against those decks most of the time, to where we don't need the Lithobreaking, so that way we don't get punished when we are playing the Lithobreaking against a deck that looks like this and it's just a dead draw in the mirror match kind of games. This makes sense to me. This looks real great. Yeah, this will be a fun one. Pretty excited about this one, so we'll double check the mana base real quick. 11 green cards, 9 red. We're on a 9-9 split thanks to Stomping Ground. I have double Sammy's Curiosity as a 1-drop as well. What if I go 10-8? I think that's still quite reasonable. So we'll go 10-8 on it. And yeah, we will call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, and see how far this can take us. Here we are for game number 1. This could be an awkward one, especially having the burst in the opener. We might go back and cut burst for one of the Lash Whips again. Because with a lower creature count deck, burst has the issue of being a complete dead draw in hands without creatures like this. Okay, these are not good draws. I will say that much. We started off with land as the draws when we kept a 4-lander with ramp in it. At least our opponent's on a slow start as well. Really doesn't matter what I choose. I have plenty of each. Vestige is the draw. Be reasonable. Just ramps into playing it next turn if nothing else, but there's Zookeeper Mechan. If they don't blow that up, then we still play it next turn, and now we actually got a cost reduction instead of just playing a 0 mana card for 0. I could see with the way this game has played out that it might have still been better to play this land, because it's confusing to see your opponent, especially in Boros, just do nothing the first 3 turns of the game. So it does make you want to be a little bit more prepared for maybe they just have a bunch of removal in the hand. But they didn't. They just play a Nova Hellkite that will cut propulsion later. I am tempted to skip out on playing Vestige so that I know I have cut propulsion up for the Hellkites. It was awkward because probably look a little bit obvious, but hey. If we make it to 8 mana, if they play around cut propulsion, then I get to play the Vestige and hold up the burst alongside it. Try to use that removal. I'm just gonna pretend I really didn't want to take 2. Because I know I could have taken 2 and played the Vestige. But maybe I just really didn't want to shock myself against a red deck. Come on, just play the Hellkite. I just didn't want to shock myself. Alright, they don't play the Hellkite. Makes sense. So they're going to crack a lander here. Also, they top deck the green source. That does explain some of the early stuff they were doing. You're stuck off a color. Whoo! The mana is flowing here, that is for sure. Next turn, if they still don't play the Hellkite, we'll now have access to Vestige plus Burst. They have their own burst here, that'd be pretty gnarly. Greenhouse is nice when they are not under any pressure. Just juice up the board, get ready to play a beefy flyer. Between burst and cut propulsion, we have the way to blow it up soon enough. We can deal with the greenhouse and the Nova Hellkite. Gunship for 2 damage. The perfectly timed greenhouse. That is exactly not enough now. Shucks. I'm going to look a little suspicious, but I'm still going to do it this way. So even if they blow up Zookeeper Mechan with some nonsense, like something that destroys an artifact or enchantment or something, I still have burst up. Outlander's a super good spacecraft. Not the most exciting this late in the game, but it'll still be a 3/3 flyer eventually. Cut Propulsion is less likely to get blown out than Biosynthetic Burst, but I only have the mana for Biosynthetic Burst, so here we are. Four mana out of green, red, white. I can't think of an instant to deal 5 in red. It would have to be the green instant. The white instants also are like damage to attackers or blockers or destroy a tapped card kind of stuff. So it's not the most likely to get blown out here. And it does not. They just sack the greenhouse to the scrapper to draw a card. Come on, deck, give me a spell. Still don't have the mana to activate Mechan for extra damage. And still hold up Cut Propulsion. I mean, let's just dome them for 8, do we not? This is just the bloodiest mirror. Either player would have been completely demolished by aggro. Well, can't kill that. And it draws a card and makes it 2/2 every single turn. That ends the game almost instantaneously. God, I wish they attacked with that Scrapper. If they attack with Scrapper 2, then they'll have a 3/3 and a 2/2 untapped. I can cut Propulsion the Scout Lantern, and then Gunship the 2/2, and then kill them with a Zookeeper Mechan activated ability, but now I have to top deck removal to kill them here. And then I won't be able to afford to play the removal and activate Mechan at the same time to fully get lethal. Man. No one knows what it's like. This is Magic the Gathering. Everybody knows what it's like. You would think pre-combat gunship even matters. Just jump with the other one. Yeah, if they attacked with Scrapper, we would have killed them here. Because gunship shoots the 2/2 and then mech and target on the vestige is 12 damage exactly. They're dead to 3 flying swings. It's moderately interesting. I am at 15. I can take a little bit of Diadrine damage. But Hellkite kills me almost immediately, too. It was like our one opportunity for them to punt. And they almost did. Maybe I still shouldn't have propulsed the 3/3 flyer there. Because again, even if I did hit the removal there, I wouldn't have been able to afford to do it and buff Vestige to get full lethal. Could have only hit for 8 if I top decked removal. And then obviously now I am taking Hellkite damage, which is very bad. Yeah, I can't use mech in here or I'm dead. I am still dead to removal. They can go removal, haste out the Hellkite, and kill me. But if I tried to station gunship with Mechan or use the Mechan to buff the Vestige, then I would be dead. Period. Just to them casting Hellkite. It's no world in which we block here. They have some kind of combat trick that lethals us. They kill us no matter what. They could have just attacked all 3, and then I put Mechan on Wayfarer, and they combat trick kill us. Mechan is our only way to have a chance, if they have no creatures in hand, of like top deck removal, kill Wayfarer, activate Mechan on Vestige for 12. I believe we did still keep the Bombard in here, so that's one of the outs that I can think of. There's a second cut propulsion as well. That would also kill a Wayfarer. Oh my lord, have mercy on my soul. Diadrine, Nova Hellkite, Sunstar Chaplain. Do not think the ultimate flood can defeat that. However, we chose to play this thing out. Yep, I mean, that'll do that to you. 7 spells, 11 lands, and we're on to game 2. Here we are for game number 2. On the draw again. Fighting against Golgari. We are on the draw against the best aggressive 2-drop in Golgari in the entire set. There's an argument between Sunset Saboteur and Sunstar Chaplain, between which of those two is the more busted 2-mana rare. So I'm not going to say the best aggressive 2-drop in the whole set, but arguably so. So, obviously a horrific start, because not only that, but we don't have a cheap creature to play even play into the one downside of Saboteur, which is that it puts counters on our stuff. I'm going to have to 2-for myself and just bombard that thing, I believe. Cash in that Germinating Worm life earlier. So we're under a lot of early pressure. Need to make the most of my mana every turn if I can. does potentially miss out on a station later. I think I sequenced that wrong. I probably should have just went Botanist Land over Siege Ship, even though it's more mana efficient to go Siege Ship. But should I? What happens if I hit my 5th land next turn? I mean, if I hit my 5th land, I just play Germinating Worm. The Terra Botanist can trade with the Stinger. Yeah, I missed out on a life gain here. I can't afford to play Space Shift. The Space Shift here. Siege Ship. Alright, so I should be at 13. So the trade in a Grav Blade heavy could maybe stabilize us. Of course not. My only play is to trade to Nook into a 1/1. Oh, Magic the Gathering. Awesome. Yep, there's no out. Well, I'm free. No more Edge of Eternities Arena Directs. I'm calling it there. When I said when I started I was only going to do a few of these, we got the gems on the second run to do this one for free. But I do not have the patience for more best of one sealed right now. This deck, I think, was much better than an O2. We did see some of the flaws of the deck coming into play, particularly in that second game, where we are a low creature count deck with a lot of Spacecraft. So I think this deck would have been better if we cut the burst and did play one of these Lash Whip Predators, but I don't think there's any major adjustments that need to be made for this deck. The Vestige warps to station one of these for free is like a sick little wombo combo we have available. And more than anything there, we just kind of got best of one. Right, our first game we flooded out really hard, and if you flooded a single game, you've lost the round against that deck. You have no chance to see if you could beat them with more reasonable draws. You just have the one game to draw well. And our second game was not because of how bad our draws were. Our draw was okay. It was awkward with Spacecraft that we couldn't station, like the Siege Ship was a blank card. But it was really just how strong our opponent's hand is. Sometimes they just get the nutso curve and that ends the run. It's as simple as that. They played the best 2-mana rare in black in the entire set, jammed it in for early damage, 2-for-1 dust to make sure we didn't take damage from it, and just had tons of other creatures to curve out with alongside it to keep the pressure on, and the removal for a few blockers we managed to play. Just cannot stabilize against that on the draw with a slower deck like this. And that'll do it to you. Simple as that. Certainly a bummer of a run today, O2ing, especially with such a fun deck as this that has nice little stationing wombo combos with these Vestiges, has Vestiges ramping into battleships. We really didn't get to do basically anything today. But on the plus side, we are free from Edge of Eternities Best of One Sealed. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm send some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.